Here's some ideas for playing Ollie Vee. The basic chords are A, a D7 and an E7. Now there's also that famous intro. And that's played by, you've got your D, think of it as a D shape played on the A, so that would be the A chord there. But you're just going to play the top two notes of it, okay? And then you're going to slide up 3 flats. Now you might think that you're playing a C shape on the D, which I suppose you are, but what you're actually aiming for is to make that chord sound like an A. You're fitting it on top of an A bass, so it actually, you're bending the B string up, not quite getting to the A shape, which would be there. It's more, which is a nice bluesy sort of chord. See that bend, just a half bend, and then you're coming down onto playing, holding the A on the E string and a D on the B string, which actually would be a sort of playing an A sus4, and then up onto a diminished A diminished. But we're not worried too much about what's going off, as long as you get the top two notes, which is the B and the E. So you'd play. Okay, so the whole thing would be. Now, the reason why this is such a good song to play is because you come in onto the A as normal, which is to do a standard rockabilly technique. And notice there's just a bit of a pause as I come up onto the top string. You play the bass note, then pause. And then when you come onto the E7, you actually reverse your fingers around. So instead of going, which would be the same pattern as the A, you're actually going to go. That I'm reversing my fingers around instead of going. I come. And you hit in directly as you play the E bass note. Over onto a D. Okay, I'll just do that intro. Then you're into the verse, and the verse is basically A, D, and then you're going to add a bass note which just lifts it up from the D to the D sharp. was kind of play the E7 as I've shown you by reversing the fingers round. But if you listen on the record, he kind of plays it differently each time he does each verse, so I'll leave it with you guys how you want to do that. Okay, so I'll just sort of run through, give you the whole thing. Okay, now the main solo, nice little solo this is, coming down onto the bass, the root bass. It's more or less a repeat of what you play up on the intro, only you're playing down on the bass. Now he doesn't do quite the same because the bass note is, I think, a little bit too dominant here, so he actually plays the correct note, which would be in your scale. And the notes for that will be an A and a C sharp, and then onto a C sharp and an E. Then you come and repeat the same for the D, which will be the D and the F sharp. But this time he just lifts it up that with that D sharp bass.